And now, here with an unlimited supply of misinformation is Mr. Know-It-All.
Okay, so we have another update on the Creation Club, maybe. So let's take a look and see what it has to do. Let's see if there's anything new and actually special going on in here. I don't think there's going to be anything new. So we've got more or less the same featured stuff. Apparel is going to be the same, right? Weapons, right? And stuff in the world. Now, one reason why I thought there was something new is because it said something about new abilities or whatever. Well, I had never seen that before, so that seems like something that would be kind of interesting if they had new abilities. So anyway, I wanted to do somewhat of a review of the Creation Club. There's been many reviews, I know, but I wanted to give my thoughts on it. Not that my thoughts are any more important or significant than anybody else's, but hey, I have thoughts on it, and I thought I'd share. So, if that's something that you're interested in, then by God, here you go. So, first of all, I like the layout of how they have this. They've broken it out into some different areas and that kind of thing. You can see that I've already got I've purchased three things. I purchased the modern furniture workshop. Now, I more than likely will not use anything out of here. I don't build that way. I don't get really into the whole modern stuff. I do like a couple of the rugs, though. I may find uses for them. So hey, I wanted to check it out, and thought, why not? There might be an occasion where I use some of the furniture or whatever, so you never know. One of the things I was very interested in, particularly, was this modular military backpack. I like to play survival. I have two characters on survival. My main character that I do almost all of my building with is not survival. It doesn't make any sense to switch to survival now. The character has already done everything. Why add that extra hassle that survival includes, especially when I'm trying to build and that kind of thing. So, but with survival, first of all, I always thought that backpacks, if nothing else, the look of a backpack would be important, because you would walk around with a backpack on. That would be one of the first things you do. You'd find a backpack and go, hey, I'm going to use that. And, you'd carry your stuff in it. Otherwise, the question is, you're carrying around all this stuff, 300 and some odd units of weight from a lot of characters. And so you've got all this weight and everything going. But where are you putting it? Why not have a backpack system? So even just for the imagery of the backpack, I thought that was, something that they originally missed out on. But the fact that this actually allows some additional carry weight, I thought was important as well. And it makes sense that if you actually added a backpack, you would be able to carry more. So I'm perfectly fine with that. And in survival, it's actually not that much more. It's not the same as it is on the regular play, characters, difficulty levels or what have you. So, and I'll actually kind of show that here in a minute. And then I just bought the Onyx. Why not? It was 100 credits is basically what they gave me for free. So, why not? So, let's get out of here. So I'm just going to kind of show the backpack. Actually, I don't want this character. But while I'm doing all this, I'll talk about my thoughts on the Creation Club. So I play on PC. I don't play with mods. It's a personal decision. I think mods can be good. I just find that it can be also somewhat of a pain to deal with mods. So I don't use mods. There's just enough of a hassle with mods that I just don't want to deal with. You know, the constant maintenance of having the mods and stuff like that. And I've had my own kind of difficulties with mods and that kind of stuff. So it's just something I have chosen not to introduce into my character. So let's have a look here. So right now my carry weight is 365 and 206. Now, as you can see, when I purchased it, apparently they already gave me a backpack. I haven't been on this character since I started it, so they give you one automatically when you buy it. So I find that interesting. I didn't realize it. I thought I had to go run around and go purchase them the first time I did it. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they give you one out the box, and then you can, where's my? I have not been on this character very much lately, so I can't quite remember where things are. Okay, do I have? Okay, here we go. Alright, so I don't want to take, I just want to use. How do I use? There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get my backpack set up. So really like how it, I really like how, they give you plenty of ways to, um, modify it and make it your own. So I find that pretty interesting as well. And, um, me personally, I like the look of. No, let's rename this while we're here. And so I really like the way that this one looks. I just think that this looks the most appropriate for what you're gonna do with it. So Rock's Rock. I think this character's name's Rock. So I think that's right. Oh, look at that. I already knocked my blowtorch off. That's disappointing. Alright, Rock's Rock. So, you can see 365 and I'm on survival. Um, let's go ahead and equip that. It takes me up to 400. So, 35. For survival, that's all it adds is 35 to my carry weight. I will say in survival, that is actually pretty significant. 35. So, it's nothing to really scoff at, that's for sure. So, I really like the backpacks, and if you haven't seen the survival backpack, that's what it looks like. You're just carrying around a lot of different stuff. You've got ammo, water, gas mask, sleeping bag, or sleeping roll, whatever. You've got a little pan to cook with, a knife. You can see there's actually the pocket there with the cross on it. That'd be your medical stuff, and then some other stuff. Now, Oxhorn, he suggested that he didn't really care for the look of it. Doesn't fit the lore. And how do you know? Maybe that's what the military backpacks were. Now, granted, if you're following along, the lore where it splits and all that kind of stuff, then you'd like to think that they would still come up with something that is very similar to what the military currently uses. My answer to that is, um, they have fusion cars. So who's to say, you know, what they would, have backpacks that would look like? So, there's only one outfit that actually has a backpack, but, maybe that's some sort of civilian type of backpack. So there's that. Now, I already kind of made my mention of what my thoughts were on, excuse me, Cosworth, what my thoughts were on, let's just get out of here. Alright, so there we go. What my thoughts were with the,
Sounds like Ellie needs to talk to us. We should head back to the office next chance we get.
with the, other building stuff. So, it's not bad. And, there may be a time when I decide that there's some stuff that I could do with with these different things, Um, but by and large, it's not going to be something that I'm going to use very often, and that's all there is for building is those floors, and then the same thing with the foundations. A little disappointing they didn't give you walls, but honestly, I wouldn't be using the walls anyway. So, it was not really hurting me too much. Although, maybe I could come up with a lore reason to have a really nice building. You know, like maybe there was, some place where the building was built, and we came back in and refurbished it, or what have you. So the furniture, I mean, I could almost pass that off that we found that, and it's still a bit dirty. It's not super new. Um, it still could be passed off as being a little bit grimy, a little dirty. So I could almost see using that. Um, but this does not look even remotely dirty, so that wouldn't really be used by me. And then, you know, maybe I could justify using the sofa, what have you. But so I'm really, for what they've offered so far, I think it's a bit lacking. I can see where, you know, if you've got stuff that you've been, for those that use mods, and if there's stuff that you were looking forward to, like the Pit Boy things, and the different types of power armor, and all those types of things. If those were things that you were actually looking forward to, and being able to have, then hey, you have access to it if you're on PS3. PC and Xbox already had that. But likewise, for those that don't use mods, out of um, you know, for their reasons, they don't want to run the risk, and they've ran into issues, whatever. This gives an excellent avenue for mods. It gives an excellent way to get things that some mods could offer that you know you wouldn't have to install mods, and they've guaranteed that it won't mess with your save game and stuff like that. Now there's been a lot of talk about the Creation Club messing with mods, particularly the load order of the mod itself. My friend Denise Phoenix, uh, every time she has to redo her load order for her mods, otherwise it messes things up. So, I can see where that's a pain in the butt. Um, that would be a bit frustrating. I do know that you can uninstall or run a mod on PC that will actually remove the Creation Club. So, hey, you can at least do that. You don't have to worry about some of the other stuff that happens with it. I don't really care for the idea that they treat the Creation Club items as a patch, and so if there's anything new that comes in, it will come in as a patch, and then if you purchase it, it just unlocks it. The reason why I don't like that is because you're automatically forcing people, which on PC is not going to be a problem, or should not be a problem, but on a console, you could run into storage space, issues, and so I find that to be a bit of a problem. And you can't go with the attitude that everybody playing this game is going to be using is going to be playing this game religiously. Now, I don't play a lot of different games, um, generally speaking, so right now, Fallout 4 is the only game I'm playing, and it's the only game I've played for close to a year now. So, um, so it doesn't affect me. I can't say that, I'm trying to do this review, um, if kind of from both aspects, how I look at it, from my own personal reasons, but then also how it affects the community. So that is kind of important as well. If I'm going to do any kind of viable review, right? So I can see where that would be a problem for the community with the preloading everything. It does make it really nice to be able to get this stuff right away when, and it's nice to see that when I'm in survival mode, stuff does not respawn. It's just crazy. Um, but anyway, so um, the I don't like the fact that they did that. that I see that as a bit of a problem. Um, hey, Strong, how you doing, buddy? Um, Another thing is that I know that there's been people that's complained about. Um, there's been people that's complained about. Come on, Cosworth. I didn't know you were with me today. There's been a lot of people that's complained about uh, the selection of items. Well, my answer to that is this is just the first iteration of items that's going to be in the creation club. You know, potentially they're just trying to get a feel for how things go. Now, my thought would be that that is, you know, only coming in with such a limited selection may skew how successful it is. Um, whereas if you had a lot of different items to choose from and everything like that, you might see some more success and more um, participation in it. But potentially, maybe these mods that we or these items, because they're not really mods, but these items, these downloadable pieces of content, DLCs, is basically what they are. Um, it's possible that these are the items that Bethesda has worked on, just 100% worked on. As I understand it, the Bethesda is offering this as an avenue for this is being offered as an avenue for uh, modders to actually create content that Bethesda will then go through and make sure that it fits all of the criteria to match the work with the game and all that kind of stuff, and the modders can get paid for it, and I find that to be pretty cool. And also I find that the just that idea of it to be, you know, pretty nice, because then you're gonna get creativity from a lot of different people. And I know Eleonora. A lot of people know her. She is participating. She has not mentioned much about what she's been doing or anything like that. And what, really much about it other than that she's, planning on and is currently working on modding stuff. And I just saw that through a tweet that she made. So I haven't really discussed much with her, but so that's good to know. Um, let's just turn that off. I didn't even know that was still going. Anyway, so I find that aspect of it to be really good. For those that complain that they haven't offered very much, the only thing I can say is be patient. You know, wait until the modders that are going to be participating in this, wait until they've submitted their things and it's passed the QA process from Bethesda, and then those items get released. Maybe they have to work out a cost for those items and that type of thing. I do like, speaking of cost, I don't, I think that the items that they introduced were too high. I thought that those price points were high. In reality, you probably could have cut everything, back by half, and probably would have had a lot more success and a lot more people purchasing them. I don't know what they're, I don't know any of the numbers, but I would just think that a halfway, um, you know, spot from where they charged, maybe three quarters, whatever, would have been a lot more appropriate as far as a price point goes. Um, but I do like the fact that they offer specials. I mean, they've already taken around where they've done a 25% off on a couple of items and even gave away a few items for a limited time. And then those items are now back up to regular price from what I kind of looked just a little bit ago. But so that's kind of interesting to note as well, that they're willing to do those types of things. Now, again, I don't know if this is the case, but if these are all items that Bethesda's um, released, and worked on, then they definitely would have that freedom to be able to adjust those prices. I don't know how the payments go for modders. You know, if they get a percentage for each item sold, or if they're just getting paid, you know, one flat sum. I have no idea. I'm sure more of that will come out later, as new items are released and that kind of stuff. We'll probably learn more about that. Any modders out there that have an idea of how that works and you want to share, you know, then, you know, especially if you want to keep yourself anonymous, uh, PM me and just let me know, and I'll just kind of throw it out there. You know, some anonymous modder told me this. This is what they know from what they've been looking into with it. So, you know, that's just something that you know, would be available. So, um, I would like to see the price points a lot less. I would like to see a lot larger variety of items that they are going to be releasing for everyone. I think that is important, and I am very much anticipating and waiting to see the. Hopefully, we'll get some actual kind of new missions and things to do. I think that will be really neat too, to be able to do something like that. And there's really no reason that can't be the case because I know there are, uh, you know, basically DLC type mods that, you know, give you other things to do, and some of them are um, very large and, you know, offers several hours of gameplay. Mark Jackson reviewed several of them, and they all looked rather good. There was, you know, and he was very open and honest on how he reviewed those, and I highly recommend checking those out. I will try to get links to those in my description. At the very least, I'll link in um, Mark's page, his YouTube site. If you haven't seen Mark's stuff, definitely go check his stuff out if you like watching gameplay. He plays a lot of different games. Right now, he's like has like three different games going. Metro Redux, or not Redux, Metro something. I think it's the follow up to Metro 2033, and then he's also playing Ghostbusters, and I don't know what year that one's from, like 2012 or something. And then he just started a new game called Inside, and that looks rather interesting. It's kind of more of a puzzle type thing, rather cool. But yeah, check out his site. But um, all in all, well, I guess it's probably time to wrap this up. It's been quite a long video. But all in all, I would say that I like the idea of the Creation Club. So far, I think the execution is not quite there. Um, I don't see it as necessarily as a money grab. I mean, Bethesda's in business. You're in business to make money. They're not in business to just offer free stuff to people. Likewise, they're giving modders an avenue to actually make money off of their things instead of doing it for free. So, really, what's so bad about that? Also, it's not like this is preventing you from still using mods. You know, other than the difficulty of having to mess with the load order, I mean, you can still use mods and use the Creation Club stuff. I like the fact that you get to pick and choose what you want. So, you know, it's a la carte in that regard. I can't wait to see more content out, more items to, you know, go through and that kind of stuff. But I like the idea. The execution's a bit lacking. Um, you know, do like pretty much the stuff that they've released. It's just not all of it is for me. You know, I contemplated getting the stealth suit just to kind of play around with it, but you know, it's not something that I would probably use all that much. So I decided that I'm just going to get stuff that I think I'll use more often than not. Um, the one thing that I got that you know, the power armor, Onyx paint job. I don't wear power armor, but I just thought, you know, why not? You know, it was the 100 credits that basically the 100 free credits is what I used for it. I got the two items that I really wanted, and um, you know, I will use backpack all the time, and you know, Even in my my normal playthrough, I give it to my companions. And my survival playthrough, I actually gave it to Preston Garvey. And I'll probably give any other companions that go with me. Obviously, Codsworth can't carry one, I don't believe. But every other companion, I could put one on there and increase their carry weight. So why not do that? And helps you kind of get it more immersed into the lore, seeing your companion run around with a backpack as well. So, um, yeah, it's so that's where my basically where my opinion falls on things. My thoughts on this, my review. Um, uh, it's I didn't go through every aspect of it, but I feel like if you haven't already seen it by now, then it's you don't need me to go through and do a demonstration of everything. But it was more of a kind of my thoughts on the entire thing, and what how it affects me, and how I think that it could be improved for other people in the community. So, all in all, I think that it's a good thing. It can be improved, definitely, but I don't think that those people that just completely trashed it, I don't think that um, I don't think that they honestly are giving it a fair go. So, but hey, that's my opinion. And maybe their trashing of it just flat out matches their opinion. And that's the beauty of all of this. We all have our own opinions on different things. So, who am I to say that somebody else's opinion is wrong? This is my opinion. And if it's something that you haven't really looked at yet, or any of that, you just kind of realize it was there, you had a quick peek, uh, you know, and this might change your opinion on it or whatever, then hey, whatever. Let me know what you guys actually think of it, both my review and what you think of the Creation Club down in the comments. I'd love to see what everybody thinks, and also what you think of my opinion as well. So with that, I think I will sign off for now, and I will talk to you all later. Say goodbye, Codsworth. Bye, Codsworth. Later, everyone.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.